hope you guys are doing incredibly well this morning. And like we said 2 days ago, that those who aligns with Chiwenga made it very clear that lines have been drawn between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga. And that's what we're going to be discussing this morning. I must tell you that Mnangagwa's sons have taken over ZANU-PF, and those that are aligning with Chiwenga are breathing fire. And you're going to be hearing some of them speaking this morning. It's unbelievable. Like I said to you, it's all a front when you see all these pictures that are circulating online. But one thing that we know beyond reasonable doubt is that the moment Chiwenga spoke against corruption, the wind started shaking, and we can see that even some of the ministers actually have been convicted, and they are ordered to return all the money that they stole. It's quite interesting days ahead. And I'll say before we get into the details, if it's your first time to come across the channel, please do yourself a favor and subscribe and make sure that you ring the bell so that at least every time I'm live or drop a video, you'll be notified immediately. But I also want to say to those that are just joining us, please make sure that you like the live, push algorithm, invite everyone to the conversation. I'm just going to make sure that at least every morning I'm here early in the morning, updating you on what's going on. So come through and just hang out with me here. Guys, do not forget to like the live, like I mentioned earlier on, and I thank you for that. All right, as we move along, I'm going to start here by Rex Munya. Shout out to you, brother. He said, if the power to control the rain was given to someone who sells umbrellas, do you think there would be a sunny day? Good night. And all I can say is, do you think if Mnangagwa had the power to actually give us the air to breathe, would we all be breathing today? Or it was going to be his children, his family only breathing, the rest of the Zimbabwean would be dead by now? Honestly, that's all I can say. All right, so also that recently there was supposed to be a press, again being chaired by Chris Muchangwa at the norm, right? But to my surprise, Chris Muchangwa's presser was cancelled yesterday. But today the presser is coming up and is going to be handled by Obet Mpofu. But I know why, because when I was watching the previous conference, I saw how angry Muchangwa was. When Muchangwa is angry, he doesn't hide. He does not hide, and he was sitting next to that lady that is also, being like the one in line to be anointed is the first female president, Chinomona. And Chinomona was dancing happily and excited, but I could see Chiwenga was mad, very angry, and I'm not surprised why he cannot even handle this coming pressure. And really interesting. We can't wait to see what they're going to be discussing once again today. But also you need to remember that last time we spoke about how, Mnangagwa is going to be working with Chiwenga. People are saying, how come when they took away Triple C, they said that they were going to be, like restructuring the party, but we don't hear nothing from Mnangagwa as the president of the party. Nothing. What I'm seeing is Wende going around the country, just kind of acting like they're doing some work there. Again, we know why. It's because it's all a front. It's all a front, and hopefully things are going to turn well for them, considering that they turned against the citizens. It's going to be an interesting time that we are heading towards. Guys, this is what I want us to apply our mind. This is the most important part that we should never let it slide. The issue of the military that has been in control of Zimbabwe over the years. And there were a conversation on X, and Dr. Walter Mzembe had to write down a very long message. I didn't write out to the Zimbabwean. I'm going to read that message that he wrote for us, okay? And I want you to apply your mind. So he said, Zimbabwe will not be turned into a military rule more than it is now if Chiwenga takes over. So there is this narrative that Chiwenga is going to take over the country, and you're going to hear when the Chiwenga faction people speaking out, because they're going to speak out. I'm going to let you guys listen to them. This is quite interesting. This is what he's saying, that you are talking that it's going to be a military rule when Chiwenga takes over. But let me read further. He said, it is clear from the beginning, 2017, the men in uniform sought a pact with civilians, allowing a quasi-civilian to be brand face of the new dispensation, while they played second fiddle in the successor government, taking the VP slots, foreign affairs, agriculture, etc. Ultimately, a very limited presence. There is a sponsored narrative doing the rounds that if Chiwenga takes over, it will be a fully fledged military government. Nothing could be further from the truth. How has this current presence not qualified this government the same? Every Zimbabwean is equal chance in the pursuit of the highest office in the land. It is not a dynasty preservation or one acquired by entitlement. By the way, what did the civilians do with this magnanimity from the military in November 2017? Apparently, they formed the most skewed government ever, dominated by 3 districts out of more than 92. It's a pity that then toxic ZANU and Congarebo mantra is answered by Karanga exceptionalism, something I want our last cabinet sitting on. As I was urging President Mugabe to leave the legacy of a united country, not one characterized by supremacy of one ethnic group, region, or tribe over the other. One that would practice this as an act of vengeance, replying his errors of commission or omission. National unity is the most important currency of any country, and it is reflected in the government design and its deployments. An exclusionary entitlement government culture is at core of our political problems. There's not much we need to do together, not in silos. We will not keep quiet seeing the country repeat the same mistakes of the past, which this administration undertook not to do on assumption of office. The principal one being the defense of the Constitution. We pray President Mnangagwa remains principled on constitutionality despite the bureaucratic pushback from the both party and government to revise his position. He accurately foresee the dangers of going in the direction of anarchists and should remain committed to the constitutionalism and in fact start dismantling the vestiges of regionalism and ethnicism and start rebuilding the state as wraps up his last term. This is Dr. Walter Muzembe. First and foremost, he's introducing his narrative or his message by saying you guys should not complain about Mnangagwa assuming the presidential office because you're saying it's going to be a complete military rule. Right? Quite interesting. I know that since 1980, before 1980, Zimbabwe has always been a military state. We all know that. It has always been a military state. But I have so many questions to ask. What did the military do to the people of Zimbabwe or the military did to politicians? Because this is why people have been crying to say there should be a demarcation between the military and the Zimbabwe state and the government. But it's like the military and the government, there's always chaos there. If there's someone who's in the government who align himself with individuals in the military, and for some reason, when they're benefiting from the people suffering, then they just go on mute. So for Dr. Walter Muzembe to say, you guys should not complain that the country can be in a complete military, rule, is actually unfair, in my opinion, because it has always been a military rule. Anyway, it is always a military rule. I know Chiwenga has been one of the most powerful men. I remember in the 70s, in the 90s, I saw him speaking in a meeting, sitting with politicians and some of the generals in the army, and his voice had so much power and authority. So to now act as if for some reason the military is now intervening now, I don't buy that narrative. I completely not buying it. I think Zimbabweans need to be very wise at this time around. I don't have a problem whether the military rules or whoever rules. My only problem that I have is that in a Zimbabwean context, there is a lot of greed going on. A lot of greed, a poverty mentality where people are more consumed by what they're getting, not how to save people. That's why we are in this predicament. It's what am I getting? Not how can I save the people of Zimbabwe? How can I make the next person's life better? It's always me, my family, my children, my concubines, everyone else don't matter. That's the problem that we are facing, Dr. Walter. And also say the same thing that, why is it all of a sudden you guys are coming up and want to put Chiwenga at the front? Who voted for him? Because it's like you always undermine the voice of the people. It's always like you endorsing leaders on us. And this is where the problem lies, is the failure to honor the principle of respecting citizens. To a point where you even disrespect the elders, because among the citizens of Zimbabwe, they are elders. Their grandfathers, their grandmothers, their fathers and their mothers. So young boys always have this nerve to push a narrative of say want to be at the front at all costs. But to whose disadvantage? Everyone's disadvantage. So I'm very much worried about, pushing towards endorsing a leader to the people than the people choosing who they want to be led by. I find that very disturbing. I don't know if I'm crazy, but that's my take. I don't know what you guys think, but I would want you to comment in the comment section because they read these comments. Are you comfortable with them just endorsing Chiwenga on Zimbabweans, or are you comfortable with Zimbabweans choosing their own president? You know, I'm very worried about that. Very much worried about it. But let's see some of the reactions that came out from the Zimbabwean people. Libert said, Honorable, I told you before that though you may have different with the HE, he is revolutionary and willing to accommodate everyone. The onus is on you, including Chamisa and crew, to reach out to Mnangagwa and find common ground to unite Zimbabwe and pursue Vision 2030. I think this is a ZANU PF supporter, which I know whatever he's saying is absolutely hogwash, because the last time I checked, Chamisa tried immediately after elections to reach out to Mnangagwa to have a conversation, but Mnangagwa's offices kept on blocking him, especially Mnangagwa at the forefront of blocking Mnangagwa. Sorry, Chamisa. And this was this response. He said, you have an unworkable solution. God will flow areas of higher concentration to the list. And he said, Itai Muchitera, comrade, Mnangagwa wants to live a united and prosperous country by bygones. Let bygones be bygones. I disagree with that. Mnangagwa has never had ambitions to make Zimbabwe succeed. If that was it, I don't think the country would be in the mess, considering what happened in 2017, the goodwill around the country and the entire world. But you know what he did? He messed up the entire, love that he received. Now, Mnangagwa and Chiwenga battle lines completely drawn. And I can tell you it's heavily, at play currently, because now even those that are loyal to Chiwenga are speaking loudly that we don't want any Mnangagwa's children to act the way that they're doing. In fact, there are allegations that some people are actually being handed to be killed as we speak, as per the audience that you're going to listen that came from the Loyalists of Chiwenga. That and also, do you know that people were chased out of this past conference? And I made it very clear that everything was choreographed. You could see that Mnangagwa's kids their eyes were all over the place. And speculations are Mnangagwa may want to anoint his own son that is a junior. I'm saying these are speculations, but you can see how the kids are so committed to the 2030 mantra. But I also know why, because they are benefiting heavily. We know one of the son is doing a lot in the mining. The one is also in the military, Sean, who is also clamoring to be on top, whatever reason, maybe to be like what Museveni does. That may be what's on the cards. We can see Mnangagwa himself is also very much desperate to become the king of Zimbabwe, turning Zimbabwe into a kingdom. I've told you how he was very much committed during the SADC summit, really focusing on zeroing in to the king of Eswatini. I think that's what he's desiring to become the king of Zimbabwe, so that he can control everything. The king has got powers to control almost everything. That's what he aspires, even in his death, so that the kids can take over his reign as kings. But I know that he will be heavily defended by the Zimbabwean community, including those that are in his own PF. So Chiwenga's Loyalists are out, gun blazing, breathing fire, saying we cannot take this anymore. And remember, the fights are thickening, because I also hear that Owen Muda, who has been at the forefront, pushing the narrative of the 2030, supporting Mnangagwa, is actually more in trouble. They say that this guy is going to be arrested. We'll make sure of that. So I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to listen to Chiwenga's Loyalists shouting, and they're very much angry. Some of them are saying we will not stand and let this pass. We'll stand firmly to defend the revolution. Please take a listen.
This is the worst function of my Saka conference what ya family function yakanga ichitika. Saka benidi yokuti the conference yavanhu ndeye kuti the people's annual conference. Hapana those zvotongoreva izvo. Chaive chinhu chamumusha chaive chinhu chavo chavaitira kubulawayo. Ravodzinga vanhu paconference kunozumudza vanhu pamasitsi kuti iwe simukabuda 82. Asi vanhu vakadzingwa vakazosvika 82. Time 17 vakasvika 82 vakafamba netsoka kuenda kundiki kudzokera kuharare uko vamwe vaienda kuManicaland. Aivaringwa kumarumu navakomana mabhemba mabhinya varumeka takakuudzai kuti vakomana votiisira zvimwe mutungamiriro handisati ndamboona zvinhu zvakadai ever since mandi vese vanenge vachitumwa ndikini vanenge vachipuwa matsamba edismissal kunzi haudiwi muchinhu chemhuri saka pievi yachinhu chemhuri ka chinhu chemhuri achiudzai varume zvimwe zvinhu vechiti mucharadzaropenga shoko azodai ndo hatei tichitaura kudzinga vanhu paconference kuti iwe bha we are not divided iwe bha apa munhu amboakredetwa shamwari kubva kumasoko ZANU Midlands ndo zvanyaya kutokorera zvokuti ZANU yaya kuMidlands Midlands namazviko zvichiri kubarizhwa navakomana vemabhemba havene ikoko.
Right, maskera sei comrades. Star rangu ini ndinonzi comrade Kit Marom kana kuti comrade Nyoka Imabhunu. I'm so disappointed zvikuru nekubatwa kuri kuitwa reprovince nemashandiro ari kuita provincial members, especially particularly baba Masimirembwa. Anditarisire kuti munguva yekunge vana veZimbabwe vachitambudzika matambudzikiro avari kuita mungawane mukana okupota muchidiscussa nyaya dzemagrupuwo zvawo, muchidiscussa ana Nyoka Imabhunu, muchisiya kuti mudiscusse zvinhu zvinobata nyika, muchitadza kuti mutaure kudonha kuri kuita zigi zvinopa kuti vanhu vararame. Mosiya agenda yezvinhu zvakakosha kudaro motanga kudiscussa nyaya ine chekuita nekuti anzi Nyoka Imabhunu akati zvakati, Gomwa akati zvakati, Secretary for Commissariat akati zvakati, anova ndiye akabata mapapers emastructures. I'm so ashamed. Andanyara zvikuru nekuitwa kuri kuitwa nababa Masimirembwa. Varasika zvikuru pamurayiro wedu wemusangano weZANU-PF. Munhu mukuru kudaro haangasumuke kubata kapepa kanga achiverenga zvinhu zvisina kana maturusi zvakafanana naizvozvo. Adima zvono. Vana vemusangano havasi kuramba kuti vavenga president. And I'm here panapa hapana kana zuva rimwe chete ndakamboona president panapa zvitukwa. But vanhu vari kungotaura zvavari kuda kuti aiwa baba tinovana ende baba takavavhotera 2018, baba takavavhotera 2023, but pa 2028 ngavachenda vanogara kumba. Haisi mhosva iyoyo, haisi treason iyoyo. Saka baba Masimirembwa musatyisidzire vanhu, hamuna munhu hamunotyisidzira. Hamusiri muchifirst chairman weHarare, munotousiya futi uchairman mugoenda kumba. Regedzai vanhu vataure pfungwa dzavo. Don't think kuti we are going to be threatened with you nenyaya dzetu mapepa 20 kwamune muchiverenga kuiko province. We respect you so much, but guru peta muswe vadiki vakutye vagokuremekedza. We respect you so much, Chairman Masimirembwa, but the way you are doing ucharasa respect yedu, because isati pe vanhu respect vasingazive kwavari kubva nemusangano kwavari kuendera musangano. Tinotarisira kuti muve muchitaura zvinhu zvinovaka musangano, zvinhu zvinobatanidza vanhu. Kana Gomwe ane zvaari kuita zvamuri kususpekta kuti zvakaipa, makadii kumudedza makagara naye pasi? Imi munoziva here kuti zvamuri kuita zvokuti 2030 hazvimo muconstitution? Imi zve2030 hamunyara here kuunganidzira vanhu kuti hanzi kuita chisorongano chokuti hanzi 2030 baba Mnangagwa vanenge varipo? Chii icho chamuri kuita, china dzamuri kuita isi? Nyarai baba Masimirembwa, hamusi kuzofa makamisa wevhi iri gomo rehwedza. Kususpenda Gomwe kana kusamususpenda, kudzinga Damson kana kudzinga reprovince yese, icho chinhu chehwedza hachisi kumisika. Ndati ndigara ndakutaurira icho chinhu chehwedza hachisi kumisika. Ende chinhu chencha 2030 hachisi kutaura nawo kuti akomana hapana zvamungaita here kuti pawanike paine mamwe mameasures anoita kuti vanhu vararame. Sei kutaura zvine chekuita nekurarama kwavanhu? Parangada kumhanya kuenda kutaura nyaya dze-life bulleting. Saka imi ndimi muri right kutaura zve2030 kuti baba vanenge varipo. Zvirimo here muconstitution zvamuri kuita zvezvo kunzi baba vanenge varimo zvezvi? Slogan iyo yakadhakwa iyoyo, hatisi kumbofa takatendera kuti iitwe. Maprovince ese musateerere zvinhu zvekutaurwa nemurume. MaDCC ese musateerere zvinhu zvekutaurwa nemurume zvakadhakwa. Hamuna munhu hamunotyisidzira Masimirembwa. We respect you so much. Chengetedzai mutemo wemusangano. Munhu akuramba muchidonhedza nyika nenzira iyoyi muchibira nyika zvamuri kuita izvi. Vese vari kuda kupeshedzera kuti ngavarambe varipo matsotsi. Makorokoza enyu ekuMidlands uku. Ndo amakutumira vana musangano kuti ngavaende vanorova vana usiku kumarooms avo. Zvino hazvina mhosva, regai vana vahaike vadzoke kuHarare. Masimirembwa, you gonna answer. Your time is coming. I'm telling you. Your time is coming. Voyage, you gonna answer. Your time is coming. Hauna ma1 hour now voyage. Nyika haisi yako. Zvekuti pasi pamusoro zvese zvamuri kuita zvezvezvi hapana chisina kubvira chaitwa before. Zvekudzinga vanhu kuprovince zvakaitwa before. Zvekusunga vanhu zvakaitwa before. Hapana chisina kubvira chaitwa. Voyage, your time is coming. You're gonna answer, I'm telling you this. Chengetai maaudio yangu. Hapana chinyuwani, pane zvamuri kuita. Hapana chisina kubvira chaitwa. But vese vakazviita ivavo vari kupi nhasi. Munodzinga maprovincial members, anga muchidzinga zvese zvanga muchiita tachizviona. Zvese zvamaita tazviona. But wait for the time. Zvekudzimira general mamaiki muchiita zvanga muchiita tazviona. Zvese zvanga muchironga tazviona. But you're gonna answer. You're gonna pay the price. Hauna chaunoshamisa iwe voyage, unodzinga vana musangano. Rega vahaike vadzoke. Hapana chavangaurayirwe nemakorokoza amudha kubulawayo. Rega vadzoke. Uri ndori kusaka kuti murambe muchida kumarikidza president kuti ngavaende ku2030. Nekuti mune uri wamuinawo imi. Ndosaka muri kudaro. Muri matsotsi. Iwe matuke unotenderedza mari yese waitenderedza kupa mamani. Kupa makorokoza nezero usiku kuti vauraye vanhu. Nani? Nemuna mudha muchiita zvamuri kuita. Musafungidze kuti magumo. Kune vamwe vairira kupfuura imimi. But vari kupi nhasi. Your time shall come and you're gonna pay. Right, maskera sei comrades. Zita rangu ndinonzi comrade Nyoka Mabhunu kana kuti comrade Kid Marong ndo zita rangu. Despite kuti pane zvikuru zvaitika kuBulawayo zvakafanana nekunge vana vemusangano vakambo accreditatwa vachinzi vanoenda kuBulawayo. Vasvika ikoko vakabatwa uyanga ikoko nemukomana anonzi Voyage anova ndiye Secretary for Security waHarare. Avadzinga ikoko. Vana ivavo vari panguva yakaoma vari kutyisidzirwa. Vachityisidzirwa nevakomana vanoita zvogorodhi vokushavana. Vane vokuhange vamwe vacho vanoita zvegorodha. Vakomana vaningi vamudha vakari mumamacheta. Vana havana zororo vari kuingwa kumainbox vari kunzi vachashanyirwa manherano. Vamwe vacho vakashanyirwa nezuva vachikidzirwa, vamwe vacho vaingwa kumainbox. Asi zvina Voyage mukati ndiye ari kutengesa vana kuti ningi dzingai ningi mudzingei. Iwe Voyage wanyanyoshamisa chii chawashamisa iwe? Wakamboti pasi nevaMnangagwa iwe, wakamboti pasi nematema danda wajiwa election kuWarren Park uko. Uno wamuri kuita da kuti tikuyambire kuti hapana chisina magumo. Ndava kana zuva rinobuda rigonyura, kana mwedzi unobuda ugonyura, rima rinouya rogodzima chaedza chigouya chigopera. Zuva rine zvaro, hapana chisingaperi. Tanga tina na mama Gaddafi vaita zvekutogarira gold chairo, but vari kupi? Vachifamba nevakadzi vakanaka maningi, but vari kupi? Tanga tina uyo uZaire uyu akanga achiita zvinogara zvakadaro. but ari kupi nhasi? Ari kupi? Ku DRC kwakanetsa kwangu nezvaitika, but hapana chisingaperi, hapana chisina magumo. Saka zvino varume mucherechedzo kutaurirai kuti hapana chinobhuruka chinomara. Madzinga vana vemusangano kubulawayo kubata kana maiziva kuti hamusi kuwada. What was the reason for accreditation? Kana maiziva kuti amuwane kuti vaende ikoko. Vana voenda kuaccreditation moapa makadhi. Vochinotorerwa makadhi ikoko kubulawayo. Vana vobatwa rafu. Vana votyisidzirwa. Iwe Masimilembwa iwe. You're gonna pay your price. I'm telling you this. Time shall come. I'm telling you. Zvauri kuita iwe uchifunga kuti wakapenga stereki. Your time is coming. I'm telling you. Kana waiziva kuti vana ava wongosingade ezvezvo vana vari kudzungaira vatyisidzirwa kana kumarumu avo kuti vachidzokera vachakwanisa kudzokera. Vamwe vana vakudzoka kuHarare usiku unoyu vakuhaika magonyeti kudzoka kuHarare kuno. Nekuti vari kutyisidzirwa kunzi vakanga vatyisidzirwa kuti itai masorogani chete. Ana matuke vakanga vachitenderedza mari nana mudha usiku nezuro zvese izvozvo tiri kuzviziva. Vachipa kana vakomana vemamachete ava mari. Ma-provincial member eManicaland navo vamwe vacho vadzingwa. Ma-provincial member veHarare vamwe vacho vadzingwa. As I'm speaking right this minute. Vamwe vacho vakwira magonyeti kuti vadzoke kuHarare. Because of you, Masimilembwa na Voyage, your time shall come, I'm telling you. And General Chiwenga is going to be the president. Kuda kwako iwe Voyage, nemakorokoza midlands ayo. Kuda kwako iwe kana kusada. Chiwenga is going to be the president of Zimbabwe. I'm telling you, mark my words. And I'm counting the days. I'm telling you. We are not going to be scared of anybody. Anobuda achitaura zvisaka nematuro zvisane basa rese. Atingaita nyika yekuti inopinzwa muhomwe nevamwe varume vari kuba mari yenyika. Chakuengerwa vamwe vachiwenga iye kungoti vakataura kuti aiwa kana vanhu vese vari kuita zvewori threat yesecurity. Ndozvavari kuvengerwa izvozvo. Iwe Masimilembwa, you are the worst chairman ever in Harare. Atinobvira tazviona zvinhu zvakadai izvi. Kuti vana vanoenda kuaccreditation moaccreditwa. Moadzinga conference. Moatungira zvinomamonya kuti muchaurayiwa usiku ihwo. Tyisidzira vana musangano. Musangano uyu hausi wamudha. Musangano uyu hausi wakumasvingo, hausi wakumidlands. Masimilembwa, you're gonna answer. I don't know when. Even after 2 years, even after 3 years, even after 10 years. Masimilembwa, you're gonna answer. Matsotsi ese ari muri kufurirana nawo. Muchirwisa musangano.
All right, I'm a firm believer that if you live by the gun, you're going to die by the gun. It is what it is. I don't know why ZANU-PF is getting surprised, because that's what they've been doing to the Zimbabwean people, threatening people, unleashing violence. Why are they surprised? That's what you've been doing. It's coming back. It's the law of sowing and reaping. Because I've been saying this. I find it very funny when some people feel like a certain kind of person can't be the president, or this person can't lead the country. And I'm asking questions. I'm like, even your children may wake up tomorrow and they have aspirations to be the leader. So imagine if I have to stand in the way and say they can't be a leader. How would you feel? We don't think as a Zimbabwean people, we are very selfish and a greedy lot. As long as I'm comfortable, everyone else don't matter. But this time, it will not work. It will not work. And I'm going to ask you, we have nearly more than 250 people who are joining us here. Please like the live. Push algorithm. Let everyone come through. We need to have a conversation. This time, we must never allow violence to take over the country. But what we must allow is real conversations. Let's go back to the drawing board, around the table, and fix our country. All right, now that you can hear the fights within ZANU-PF, you can hear these guys, these Chiwenga's loyalists who are breathing fire against Mnangagwa's children. I get it, because Mnangagwa children are being accused of using guys who are holding machetes to threaten people and pushing the narrative of 2030 with Muda. And I think we've seen Owen Muda at the forefront. Some people say he can be a president. I'm like, Muda, if Muda become a president of Zimbabwe, no, I want to go to heaven. There's no reason for me to live in this world. I can't stand Muda, not in a single day. But again, I've told you earlier on, the narrative of pushing Chiwenga that he's going to be the president of Zimbabwe, imposing him on the people, I still find it a little bit dodgy. And guys, why can't we just go back to the drawing board? Why are we afraid of holding a free and fair election? What is the problem? Because, do you know that in Namibia, Ginkop died last year. His vice became the president, right? And he's too young to actually, according to the constitution of Namibia, to become the president if he wants to, under the ruling party. But you know what? He came out and said, I and Ginkop agreed that by next year, earlier next year, we are going to retire. With that being said, I don't want to run as a president. Choose other people that you want to represent you. I can't believe that. Why are we failing such a simple principle in the Zimbabwean community? Men who have been in power for decades, including Chiwenga. In my opinion, what does he want? He has been, a leader for years. He came to be the president. I'm very disappointed, though, when he was the Minister of Health, that even the Minister of Health today is in shambles. But he was the minister, and he failed to deliver. What is it that we can expect today from him as a president of a country? So when young people are coming out gun blazing, imposing him on the people, I find it weird. As much as I don't really care about their fights in ZANU-PF, I'm very much concerned about what they're uttering, especially imposing Chiwenga on the Zimbabwean people. I don't hate Chiwenga at all. I think he's an incredible person. I've seen him changing, really. The wife is I can see them. They seem to be doing something. But I'm very worried about, a country that is being operated from a point of manipulation. Let's go back to the drawing board, having a free and fair elections. Why can we talk about reforms? I pray that when Chiwenga comes into the place, within ZANU-PF, he may be a man who can stand on a principle of saying, let's have a free and fair election. Let's have reforms in place. Let's revamp our country. Let's speak. Let's come together. Let's fix this country. I pray that will be what he's going to stand for. Because I'm very worried that we are going to go back to square zero. Because as we speak, these guys that are standing firmly, adamantly, supporting Chiwenga, they do have expectations. You know what I mean? So if they have expectations, it's maybe they want to be a minister. Someone may want to be a commissar. Someone may want to be an ambassador. We are going back to square zero, where people are loyal to a leader and they have expectations. That's what Chamisa was running away from, saying that just because you are committed in a political party, that doesn't automatically make you a leader. I don't know how to speak that. Just because you are running around in a political party and be doing stuff, it doesn't make you a leader. Leadership is quite very unique. Leadership is unique. There are some people who can be very good leaders who are not in politics today in Zimbabwe. Why can't we consider those who are able to take a country forward? In my opinion, I don't care about leadership because I know that even for me right now, I'm a leader. Everyone is a leader. Individuals who can't even manage their own life want to lead people. You know what? Where I stand, I am very much stand on a principle. I still believe if a man can manage himself, he cannot be a leader. If a person can manage a family, cannot lead a country. Because a country is an extension of a family. So there are people who failed dismally, but they want to push themselves into saying, I'm going to lead the people. No, something's just wrong in our country. But now as we speak, breaking news that 2 ministers have been convicted in ZANU-PF. I just don't know why Mnangagwa to swap these 2 guys, including Shaba, because Shaba is also part of the conviction. I'm going to read. July Moyo and Shaba were sued, for actually mismanagement funds, and they've been convicted. I'm going to read this article that was sent out by Crime Watch Zimbabwe. That 2 Zimbabwean ministers convicted for unapproved borrowing in landmark case. So Zimbabwean court has convicted 2 government ministers for unauthorized borrowing of over 200 million ZiG from critical public funds without obtaining prior approval from the Treasury. Public Service Minister, Honorable, that is July Moyo, and Higher and Tertiary Education Minister, Honorable Frederick Shama, were recently sued. Once again, the word honorable is being abused. If a man is abusing funds, he's not an honorable man. Let's start from there. Okay. A man is abusing state funds is not an honorable man. Let's start from there. You know. So that's former opposition, Marvelous Kumalo, a former opposition legislator, alleged that the ministers violated the public finance management, but it can't be alleged if they've been convicted. So it's not an alleged. No. They were, okay, so they abuse the state funds. So don't say alleged because they're convicted. So it's obvious that there were evidence that proved that they did wrong. So sorry. So the lawsuit accused the ministers of using funds set up to support disadvantaged communities without the required treasury authorization. Okay. The lawsuit accused the ministers of using funds set up to support disadvantaged communities without required treasury authorization. Again, it's all again the rift within the ZANU-PF. We all know. I mean, 1 minute they talk about corruption. 1 minute we are seeing people not being, convicted. But again, we know the issue of catch and release. Why are they not being jailed for crimes that, because there are people who are not convicted today who are in jail. Why are these guys moving freely and against still holding cars of ministers? Why can't they be suspended? Why are they not being removed as we speak, July Moyo and Shava? Because they have been found wanting. Again, that's how Zimbabwe being run. We are friends and buddies. We need leaders that stand on a principle where it's not about you're my friend, but it's about did you do the right thing or not? You know what I'm saying? Listen, I've been a businesswoman for some years now. I can tell you the dangers of either work with family. Family are amazing. Trust me, family is, you must put your family together. I'm a lover of family. I would die for my family. Listen to me, I'll do anything to protect my people. But one thing I'll tell you is I've learned you must never employ family members. You can, if you want to employ them, let them be managed by someone else, not you. And it's not their fault. It's because, you are my sister, you're my cousin, you're my friend, I love you. So the fact that you're bringing your kids around in government institutions, your friends, your relatives, is on its own a recipe for disaster, especially from us in African community, because you know what? There's always been that family thing. Whites are different. White people are different. They know where to draw the lines. But, remember, we came out from families where we can eat from the same plate. That principle, it knitted us so well to a point where we stand for each other even when things are wrong. We can't stand on a principle. So I'm not a fan of family employee. No. The person has to understand how to run the business. He has to know that, no. When you're at work, I'm not your family. I'm your leader. But when we're at home, then we can talk of family. So this is the problem in the government of Zimbabwe. It's friends, it's relatives, it's my child, it's my cousin. And at the end of the day, everything just go haywire. Like what's happening today? Kids are messing up. They're crossing lines. They no longer respect leaders. At the end of the day, then the country suffers because of individuals that do not know how to make decisions. It's very sad. Now, moving on, we're going to close with this one. Very interesting story that I saw yesterday. And again, I'm going to say shout out to my brothers whom I love. I can guarantee you now you've got your sister. Listen, if you've got any question about relationship, you can actually just holler your sister to give you some counsel. Now, do you know that it is a crime in Zimbabwe to marry someone while you are married without, if you want to do a polygamy, you need to go through the polygamous laws. But you can't marry someone when you're married. You cannot do that, right? Without your first wife, no, you can't do that. But it happened in Zimbabwe. So there were two guys. A married man wanted to marry another woman. So the interesting part is as they were doing their Lobola day, where the pictures are when you need to put your husband and a wife? They to cover up the pictures because they didn't want people to see that this was someone's husband. But they were followed, they were tracked, and that Lobola day was blocked. Guys, brothers and sisters, why do you embarrass yourself so much? Sometimes I don't understand, why do you love to embarrass yourself? Why don't you love just doing the right thing? If you want polygamy, it's a great thing. Tell your first wife, baby, I want a polygamy. I know people who recently married and had another wife, and the wife agreed, and he's a polygamist today. Why not? If you want to, come clean. But the issue of lying, trying to pay lobola for someone and you are hiding, to me, that's mentally, you're deranged. When did we start becoming a society that thrive in lies? We love to lie a lot. If we can lie, we can speak truth because it's all about choice. You can make a choice of speaking truth into power, don't you? Let's revamp our society and do the right thing, guys. Respecting each other. The embarrassment, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. And again, women, it's important to do your research about men. Do your research. It's okay. Like Zimbabwe is even easier, because we are more intertwined with our chiefs. And if I want to find out about a man from Wedza or Murewa or anywhere, I can. I'm from Mashingo, but trust me, I can get information like this in Zimbabwe. I will ask you, Uraba Kupi, what's your totem? Unoera Chi, Uraba Papi. Then I'll do my research. Does he have a wife? But girls, you're just pretending like you don't know that this man is married. And again, a married man, you can actually tell. He doesn't answer phones at certain times. I always say it's easier to spot if a man is lying or a woman is lying. It's easy. Very simple principles to know that this person is actually a liar. You can't answer phones at certain times, red flag. I know. Or he's cohabitating, a red flag. You catch it very quickly. It's inconsistent. You're like, I know, this guy is a liar. It's very sad because at the end of the day, it's your life. You don't want to be a part of the statistics of embarrassment in the country. We can do better, man. Let's show each other some love by doing right. Let's protect one another. If we want to build a better Zimbabwe, it starts by how we behave. It really boils down to our behavior. A country can be built on a platform of lies. But again, it starts from the top, dripping. Today, no one respects marriages because it starts from the top. It really starts from the top of Holy Spirit. It's like the anointing that comes from the head of Aaron goes and dripping down all the way. But I can tell you, when you're truthful, it will make your life easier. Please, if you want polygamy, communicate properly. Some people don't mind. And there's nothing wrong because, then a man is honest. I respect an honest man than a liar. That's why I respect when a person is honest and they say who they are, right? You know that you're guaranteed success because you can build a strong family when somebody is honest. But dealing with a liar, you're going absolutely nowhere. Nowhere with a man who's not honest. You're going nowhere. I don't normally mind about a man's past. But the question is, did you repent from your past? Your past don't matter, but did you repent? Right? That's all that matters. Okay, that's all I have for you tonight, this morning. I'll see you a little bit later on. I said I'm going to be early every time, giving updates of what's going on in Zimbabwe, having conversation like this is the most sensitive time. We must not let anything slide. We must use our brains and put Zimbabwe first. Our success, our dreams, ambitions, purpose. The dreams that I have for Zimbabwe, what I see. Sometimes I sit and I'm like, do you even see what I see? Do you even see what I see for this country? I spoke to another lady yesterday and she was saying to me, Rumbika, I've given up about Zimbabwe. I've given up. I said to you, don't give up. I can't wait for you to call me. And he said to me, Sissy, I'm rushing. I just dropped my child. I'm rushing to go to cook dinner for my husband. We just built a new house, but we did not build in Harare. There's too much congestion. We built maybe in Wedza, in Wange, anywhere else. And this house, and we are happily married. Where we have a country where children don't even pay school fees. It's happening in Botswana. Up to university, we pay our kids going to school. When we have new buses, bullet trains. Guys, can't you see it? Because it can happen if you and I believe. And we not only believing, but we work towards achieving it. We do away with wicked men and women in leadership. We remove greedy individuals, but now promote those that are willing to build a Zimbabwe moving forward. Can you be proud? As a father, I know some of my families who are diplomats who works at the Union Building in South Africa. They park their cars in Rosebank and Sandton, and they get into bullet trains to go to work, the How train. Guys, when are we going to wake up and start dreaming of having a better country? It starts with you and I. Change our ways. Greedy needs to get out of Zimbabwe like yesterday. We need to begin to pray that God give us leaders. We have a heart to build, not to take, just collecting. A heart to take, You don't put just taking. Like what's going on right now with Mnangagwa and his regime. And his children. Collecting, just taking. But it's even worse with Mnangagwa's kids. They've got a relationship with their friends in China there. It's unbelievable. The country is being milked to the... They don't care about building. They care about just taking. Guys, please, we can do this. You and I, we need to change our thinking. Let's desire to have a country that functions well. Because when we do that, we're all happy. Imagine, we're all going to be happy leaving a legacy of a functioning economy, a functioning country. I mean, a clean street where you can walk in. Guys, I can see that in Zimbabwe. I can see it. And that will happen in our lifetime. But we need to change the way that we see life. Understanding that where our success lies within. Just love. Believing in each other. Hatred doesn't build. If we can hate, we can love. We choose. I love you all. May God bless you and may God bless Zimbabwe. Bye for now.